So I know I mentioned before that skincare is definitely a very hot category, and this next panel is focusing more on the med spa, and again, the professional skincare side of things. So let's welcome to the stage James Manzo, who's the beauty marketing editor for WWD. He's going to moderate this panel. We have Dr. K. Duraraj, who is a facial plastic surgeon. She's a leading facial plastic surgeon, internationally known for her innovation approach to natural aesthetics and AI applications in aesthetic medicine. We have Julie Bradley, who's the CEO for Regimen Pro. And she brings experience in e-commerce, finance, and technology. And we have James Gu, who's the senior director for the spa at Equinox. And James has revitalized Equinox Spa's business by introducing high-performance technologies while staying true to the brand's mission. So welcome, all of you.
Thank you so much, Adam. So Dr. K, Julie, James, great name, by the way. Thank you so much for joining me. Julie, I'd love to kick off with you. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do at Regimen Pro, and also in your role as CEO, what projects and initiatives are you currently focused on?
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me to speak here. This is always an awesome event and very timely. Regimen Pro, is an e-commerce platform. We connect medical providers, dermatologists, med spas, plastic surgeons, to facilitate the sale of over 30 medical grade skincare brands to their patients and keep them involved in their patient's journey. No inventory, no upfront fees or continuing fees. In fact, we pay them a commission for everything that they sell on our platform. That's us.
Thank you. James, I'd also love to hear from you as the Senior Director of Spas at Equinox. First of all, what does that role entail? And also, where do you sit in the broader Equinox ecosystem as far as spas go?
Sure. So as the Senior Director of Spa, I'm basically the business owner for our spa line of business within Equinox. Equinox is a global luxury fitness chain. We have 106 locations across the US, Canada, and the United Kingdom. We have spas basically in all of our locations, right? So we're obviously more known for our fitness and wellness side, but we do have spas at every single location with skincare services at about 60% of them. And in my role as the business owner, I manage the P&L, day-to-day operations, but one of my biggest focuses would be strategy and innovation.
The Spa at Equinox, a pinnacle high-performance recovery experience. Cutting-edge technology to renew, restore, recover. Balance your mind, body, and spirit. Optimize performance and recovery. Individually tailored bodywork and performance-forward skincare from licensed experts. Slow down aging. Elevate your training. Only at the Spa at Equinox.
Certainly. And Dr. K, you're an internationally renowned plastic surgeon. You're so focused on the feel-good factor and how your patients feel with aesthetic procedures. Can you tell us a little bit more about your practice and philosophy?
Definitely. You might know me from Instagram at Beauty by Dr. K. I have been doing facial plastic surgery for the last 20 years, and I really specialize in a bespoke and natural approach. A lot of my patients are models, but many of my patients are moms and business executives. So I want every woman and man out there to take ownership of their appearance and remember that this is like performance art. You get to be the best version of yourself. I'm really branching out this year. I've done a deep dive into the use of artificial intelligence in aesthetics for facial scanning, facial aging, how to restore youthfulness, and I'm also a super fan of biohacking, using collagen biostimulators to grow natural collagen and antioxidant supplements and things to improve longevity.
And I'm super curious too, how is AI technology influencing your discipline and your practice?
Majorly. So in terms of patient safety, we're able to use it for facial scanning of anatomic structures like arteries. We're also able to predict your aging changes, and loving the Perfect Corp technology for skin analysis. I have a skincare line, so it definitely helps me to show patients where their skin starts and the journey of how it's improving. So I'm a huge fan of using AI in the practice, and I think we have to adopt and teach everyone to join in.
Is there a super common use case that you're seeing right out the gate, or?
Mostly it's before and after pictures. So with facial morphing, to be able to show someone what it would look like to change aesthetic things that they want to improve upon. So with rhinoplasty, chin augmentation, it's very easy to show someone a reflection of what they might look like and make sure it agrees with their own impression of themselves. So I think that's a huge consideration before and after pictures. Simple things like volumetric change. If someone gets lip filler or cheek augmentation, we're able to show changes in volume. We're also able to show the growth of new collagen, neocollagenesis, in terms of reduced fine lines, wrinkles, pore size, and skin quality change.
Fantastic. Julie, I'd love to hear about how AI is impacting your business and the ways that you're leveraging it.
Sure. So we're really focused on making it very easy for medical providers to provide recommendations for skincare to their patients. So we're trying to use, and we also want consumers to understand what's available for them. And fortunately, that too doesn't always work well together because there is a time delay and there's just so many different brands and products on the market. So we were really excited to partner with Perfect Corp to augment our regimen logic, which is our skincare assessment tool. So if you go to the next slide, that one, perfect. So I think everybody's seen the scanning advice here. We use the same thing. We used to have just a quiz that they would take, that we'd ask a series of questions, and we thought it needed to be much more engaging. So working with Perfect Corp, we now have the scan embedded on mobile and laptop, and when they come into the office, she's asked to take the scan as a skincare assessment and provide those results to her physician. So you get the scores, and we offer we use 12 different scores, and we also do the skin health and skin age, which is a hot topic that we discussed as a team. But I've witnessed patients sitting in your waiting rooms competitively comparing their skin age to their actual age. And then the next step is to provide them with some recommendations. So if you go to the next slide. So this is, I think, where the second half of the magic happens, and that is we partner with, right now I think we're over 32 brands, medical grade skincare. Before one of our our offices go live, we work with them to find out what their top brands are, what their go-to products are for wrinkles or acne, and we build regimens that then feed an algorithm that is married to the skincare results and produces a very personalized regimen. So as that busy physician is kind of running out of the room and says, what about skincare? They have confidence that the regimen that Regimen Logic put together for them is the one that they, in the fullness of time, that they would produce.
So, full disclosure, I'm also asking this because a skin diagnostic tool told me that my skin was 10 years older than I am.
Oh no! So you'd be one of those people shrinking in the background of the.
I was mortified, and I covered the screen for like a good 5 minutes before it went away. But I'm so curious, like, what does it look at, and how is it evaluating and coming up with these different scores?
So I will say, so we're using the Perfect Corp AI technology. Light is your friend. when you're taking the Regimologic, the skincare assessment, and it is looking deep. We've had people that didn't see that they had a pimple coming up, but it can read that, and it's backed by science, which is really important for our clientele because they're focused on scientific results.
So my big takeaway is that my skin isn't actually that old, it was bad lighting.
I think you probably should try it again with a little bit more light because
Okay.
your skin's beautiful.
Thank you for that. And James, also, you've recently implemented AI skin analysis technology into your spa offerings. Can you share with us a little bit about how that's being leveraged and what that looks like in a service?
Yeah, absolutely. So the two things that we're really trying to drive by implementing the AI technology is accessibility and awareness. So as I mentioned, we have spas at all of our locations. We have skincare at about 60 of those spas, and massage is our prime business driver. So about 75 to 80% of the business is driven by massage, and so much smaller percentage by skincare. And so our aesthetics team is comparatively small to our massage therapist team, personal training team, things like that. And so there's not always that presence on the floor, there's not always that awareness, and there's not always that accessibility for the estheticians to help educate our member base, right? And historically, accessibility and personalization and customization almost had an inverse relationship, right? And our focus at Equinox, regardless if it's on the fitness side or the spa side, is to always deliver a customized, personalized approach to programming, to treatment, and things like that. And so what I mean by accessibility and customization having an inverse relationship is that when you're relying on people to create these customizations, to learn about people's goals, to assess what people need, you lose a lot of the accessibility because you can't scale that, right? By implementing AI, we're able to increase accessibility tremendously, right? No longer constrained by the number of licensed estheticians we have on staff, but also to do it in a way that maintains that level of customization and personalization. That's the accessibility side. On the awareness side, again, without the licensed esthetician at every single location, we have an awareness issue. We see big opportunity on growing the skincare side of our business. And with the Perfect Corp AI analysis, we can have these at locations. We can include these with all new memberships as they join, so that we can start the conversation about skincare. We can drive awareness around not only our offerings, but just educating our member base on skincare and the importance of it in general.
And I'd love to know, what are some of the other top priorities for integrating this technology? Is it about driving a more holistic approach to an Equinox member? Okay, I'm now coming to you for my spa treatment and for my massages and my personal training, perhaps my longevity program that you made headlines with the other week.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think all of those things, all of the above, it starts with that awareness, it starts with that accessibility. Now that people are aware that we have these services, that it's accessible, that they have the ability to have these assessments done, and then funneling them to our licensed estheticians, the different experts we have, not only talk about skincare, but all the other things that we have to offer, for sure.
Certainly. I'd love to hear, Julie, to talk a little bit more about skincare. How is AI influencing skincare, and what has the adoption been like with consumers that you're hearing from the practitioners you work with?
Yep, great. So we've had some really good results since we implemented Regimologic, our skincare assessment powered by Perfect Corp's AI. We've seen our new affiliates, new doctors joining our platform has been up at 55% since we launched it last fall. So they get really excited about it. And I think the reason they get so excited about it is not that it's going to replace that in-person evaluation. It's an engagement tool. Regimen Pro is a gated site, so you need to register in order to be able to take Regimen Pro and see the recommendations like from your doctor, and it's gated because we need to pair up the two of you to know which recommendations to show, and also when you purchase a product, we know where to send the commission to. So in that, we're finding that the patient going into the office, they want them to be registered, so they'll ask them to take a skincare analysis, and it makes them easy, and they know they're going to be able to market to them even if they're not in the office. So I think that's why we're signing up a lot. And by a lot, our registrations were up 40% over that same period. And what's really great is conversions are up 22% for that same period. So the consumer is seeing these products, they're understanding it's being recommended by their doctor, and they're purchasing it. They're going to purchase skincare someplace, you might as well get paid for it.
And as the surgeon on the stage, I'd love to know, now that we know a little bit about how you're using AI, like how has it changed the patient experience, and what are the benefits that your patients are reaping from it?
I did have a video. Maybe they can play that video. So this video just shows me. So I've been a surgeon for 20 years. I have 4 kids. I have a skincare line and a podcast on iTunes. And I'm obsessed with AI because look at the potential, look at the expressions on this robot. Right now we're using Artery 3D, which you upload an MRI of the patient's face, and we can interface with an iPad, and here you can see all the arteries. These are micro expression analysis with Face Reader app. And this is called Quantificare, where we do our before and after imagery. So you can take a face, and here she's had some nice results with filler placement. And there you can see the volumetric calculations where the red shows filler enhancement. She looks quite natural and great. Perfect Corp, of course, is helping us with skin analysis. So we do microneedling, PRP, platelet-rich plasma treatments, and lasers. All these things are on my Instagram, but mainly our patients love the fact that we're progressive, we're cutting edge, we're using technology to look their best. So I'm a huge fan of bringing in these tools because they make my work more accurate, and they make the before and afters much more visible. Sometimes the human eye can't pick up what the computer can see. And it's just kind of helped me machine learn. Like I've machine learned for 20 years, all the things that I need to see when I look at a face. When you go to other providers out there who are brand new, who haven't done it for very long, this is a concern. So as I lecture and teach internationally, I'm using some of that technology to teach young and new injectors how to be the best and how to make sure we create natural faces out there in society.
And I'm so curious too, you mentioned that it seems like your patients are super excited about it. You feel the adoption has been strong. Is it becoming more of an expectation from your patients?
It kind of is. I think people want this technology and like AI-driven experience. They want to feel like you are the cutting edge office. I love the human touch. I'm never going to eliminate that. I'm never going to be an office where you push buttons to get a human. I only want human answering. And I think that the surgeon's touch will never be replaced. Like they want a comforting hand on their shoulder. They want the ability to engage. But this is next level. When I take people to surgery, I want to know where your arteries are. I want to be protective of your face when I do your fillers. I want to make sure we use stereotactic navigational guidance to map that journey.
And James, are you seeing the same levels of adoption and conversion from the Equinox member or client that these two are seeing?
Well, we're just in the process of launching with Perfect Corp, but in terms of AI and technology in general, yes, very much so. Right? I think if you look at just 10 years ago, the health and fitness metrics people talked about in the gym were, how much weight can you lift, your percent of your heart rate max. Now, the average consumer is talking about HRV and sleep quality and all that, and all that's driven from these AI and technology-driven pieces that have become ubiquitous, right? And you go to a fitness club, you're not going to see you're not going to look at 5 people without at least seeing a couple of whoops or a couple of auras. So I think things like that have become very prevalent, and the expectation is, as the experts, to tell them what to do with all of that data, right? So there's a lot more data collection, there's a lot more curiosity about different biomarkers, different health metrics. coming from technology and AI. And I think what we need to figure out is how to take all that data and create actionable recommendations from it.
And I'd love to hear from all three of you. So you've implemented this, or in the process, at least with Perfect Corp specifically at Equinox, but you're in the process of integrating all of this technology. I'd love to hear what the early learnings have been, both in terms of how consumers are interacting with it and any insights it's given you. James, do you want to start?
Sure. Like I mentioned, there's a lot of data now, right? So our consumers have access to so many different data points, so many different biometrics and health markers that even your doctor didn't have on you even 10 years ago. And while a lot of these apps and a lot of these wearables, these devices will give some basic recommendations, I think that's where we're going to see the most growth, is to really get truly personalized and customized with the recommendations. Right now, it's you had a bad night's sleep, it's going to recommend you take it a little bit easier. And I think with the way technology is going, we can go much further than that. And I think we can break down barriers between different categories. So right now, people are looking at certain metrics that are related to their fitness and physical performance. They're looking at other things for their skin health and their beauty. They're looking at other metrics for risk factors for diseases, things like that. But kind of looking at them all in different silos. And I think where AI can really come in is to break down those silos, bridge those gaps, so you can take all of that data and look at it holistically. Right? The human body is extremely complex, and a lot of the different metrics and factors you're looking at have causational relationships that you don't necessarily see when you're looking at them from these individual lenses. I think with AI, we can really look at everything holistically and be able to develop actionable recommendations based on all of that kind of spans your full spectrum of wellness and health.
Julie, what about you? What have your
I think the consumer loves it. I mean, they're out there, on social media looking for answers, and if they can get the answers using these AI tools that can educate, engage them, give them fact-based information, I think they're excited. And then from the physician side that are on our platform, I think they were skeptical at first that, is this going to replace me telling you what your skincare regimen is? But I think they've realized they can leverage it. We can design something that they're still putting their stamp on, and they're also being able to reach patients that maybe come in once a year, but they can still update their recommendations and deliver skincare to them wherever they are. So we're thrilled to be part of the AI family.
And Dr. K, are you as bullish? What have the insights been and how you've been leveraging it?
I think it's so important to use AI to differentiate yourself. There's such a huge marketplace of people out there. Am I going to see a doctor who uses AI or an old school doctor who's using a paper chart still? I mean, there's a role for advancing that technology. And I think with the wearables, like we were looking at your Oura Ring earlier, and how all this data, people want data. They want to understand their bodies, their lives, their faces. When I can present options to a patient and show, this is your facial aging if we do X, Y, or Z, nothing's right or wrong. Maybe you're someone who loves laser, maybe you're non-surgical, maybe you're surgery only. But I can show those three options to a face and illustrate how aging is going to happen and give people ideas. And I think that's critical information. I was quoted today in the Daily Mail talking about an article on Ozempic use and how does the face change with Ozempic. Well, I can morph your face if you're on Ozempic and you do nothing, and you get wasting and thinning, or if you're on Ozempic and we do beauty building, foundational injections for a collagen stem. And then the patient can decide. And the same thing with you, James. We were saying, you can
Right.
build a plan for preventing muscle wasting with, muscles do waste when you get too much Ozempic and not enough exercise. So I think the idea of giving options is critical, and high-tech, data-driven options.
Certainly, and I want to be mindful of the time. I see Adam over there. But I'm just curious, lightning round, where do you see the future of AI going, and how is it going to be converging with your respective disciplines in, say, the next 5 years?
I think it's a more seamless integration between AI and technology and what a human being can present. Right now, it's a little bit separate, right? Some things are AI driven, some things are developed by people, and there's this sense of suspicion and skepticism, like, are people going to get replaced in certain professions? What's better, the person or AI? And I think the evolution of that is to have a fully seamless transition between the two, right? Where human beings are leveraging the power of AI to be able to provide a better service in any industry.
I agree. I think it's going to be incorporated more, just driving the level of the conversation up, akin to ChatGPT. It's easier to edit it than to start with a blank piece of paper. I think people are going to use AI the same way, and then put their personal touch on top of that.
Same. I think we're going to have AI tools in our households. We'll be talking to holographic images of like a very nice computer that'll tell us all our answers. I'm going to have a Perfect Corp driven mirror in my bathroom. In the morning, it's going to scan my face and say, well, it's humid outside and you're close to, ovulating on your menstrual cycle, so you need this and this and this product in order to look great today. And so I'm going to just apply all that based on the skin scanning. That's what I see.
Fantastic. Well,
super interactive.
Well, Dr. K, Julie, James, thank you so much for joining me on stage.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yay. Thank you.